Good day, grade 8 students. Welcome back to our English class. Last time, you learned the different archetypal symbols that are vital to know to avoid making general assumptions about characters and ideas. Today, we are going to have a grammar lesson. So may I ask you a question? Have you ever heard of parallelism? So we have here a sentence. Moises enjoys eating, talking, and laughs. So what can you say about this sentence? In this sentence, the writer starts by using a gerund, eating, and followed by another gerund, talking, but ends with the verb laughs. So as you notice, the word laughs does not follow the same structure as the other parts of the list, so this sentence does not demonstrate parallelism. So any idea on how to make this sentence parallel? To emphasize each item equally, the sentence can be corrected this way. Moises enjoys eating, talking, and laughing. So this is parallelism. So why should we avoid faulty parallelism in writing sentences? At the end of the lesson, you should be able to define parallelism. Recognize sentences that are parallel and not parallel. Write and revise sentences using parallelism. And lastly, cite ways on how to avoid faulty parallelism. Let us now discuss all about parallelism. What is parallelism? Parallelism refers to the similarity or congruence of the structure of words, phrases, and clauses in sentences. When ideas in sentences are related and have a similar purpose, they should be written in parallel manner. It creates a sense of rhythm and balance within a sentence. As readers, we often correct faulty parallelism because an unbalanced sentence sounds awkward and poorly constructed. Why write in parallel form? Parallelism in sentences helps in the coherence and unity of ideas. Failure to place words, phrases, and clauses in similar structure is called faulty parallelism. In other way, you want this and not this. So here are some examples of parallel words. I feel bored, tired, and sleepy. I love acting, singing, and dancing. Do you want to eat, play, or sleep? A strong sentence is composed of balanced parts that all have the same structure. Examples of parallel phrases. My hobbies are playing computer games, cooking dishes, and reading books. Keep in mind that parallel structure should be used when it comes to verb tense. Your verb tenses should always match, and likewise with prepositional phrases. He searched for his wallet under the bed and in the drawer. A simple way to check for parallelism in your writing is to make sure you have paired nouns with nouns, verbs with verbs, prepositional phrases with prepositional phrases, and so on. Examples of parallel clauses. We were assessed on what we said and what we did. My mother is the only person who loves me unconditionally and who supports me completely. Here, a parallel structure that begins with clause must keep the same clause. Changing to another pattern or form and voice of the verb will break the parallelism. So let us study the following examples. When I walk the dog, I like to listen to music and talking to friends on the phone. So what have you noticed on the structure of the sentence? It is a faulty parallelism. It uses different verb forms to listen and talking. So how are we going to make it parallel? When I walk the dog, I like listening to music and talking to friends on the phone. Here, the grammatical construction on each side of the coordinating conjunction end is the same, creating a parallel structure. How about this sentence? The committee needs to decide whether the company should reduce workforce, cut benefits, or lowering workers' wages. So it is a faulty parallelism. So what do you think is the mistake of this sentence? This sentence contains two items that use the same verb form, reduce and cut, and the third item uses a different verb form, lowering. So how are we going to make this sentence parallel? To create a parallel structure, use the same verb form in all three items. So it will become reduce, cut, and lower. Next, Shane had to do the iron, do the washing, and shopping before her parents arrived. So this is a faulty parallelism. In this sentence, three different verb forms are used. To make it parallel, simply write, Shane had to do the ironing, washing, and shopping before her parents arrived. So when these sentences are written using parallel structure, they sound more pleasing because they are balanced. Let's try this. We gathered for a meeting to elect new members, for raising money, and that we could plan for a dance. So how are we going to make the items parallel? To make it parallel, use the same infinitive phrases. We gathered for a meeting to elect new members, to raise money, and to plan for a dance. Remember, whenever you list a series of things or actions or ideas, they should be similarly expressed to avoid faulty parallelism. My math teacher when I was in grade 7 was informative, lively, and a source of inspiration. So what do you think is the mistake in this sentence? And how are we going to make it parallel? To repair the faulty parallelism here, you will have to change the words informative and lively into noun phrases, or the word inspiring into an adjective. So it will become, my math teacher when I was in grade 7 was informative, lively, and inspiring. So always choose the simplest option. In this case, change the word inspiration into an adjective which is inspiring. He warned me to revise my essay and that I should pay close attention to parallel structures. So what do you think is the mistake in this sentence? And how are we going to make the items parallel? To repair this sentence, choose either an infinitive, to plus verb, or a that clause in both sides of the sentence. So it will become, he warned me to revise my essay and to pay close attention to parallel structures. Or it can be also, he warned me that I should revise my essay and that I should pay close attention to parallel structures. As I mentioned earlier, always choose the simplest option. Grandpa walked carefully in a slow way and halted a lot. So mix-up adjectives or adverb forms can be a problem. To repair this sentence, transform the following adjectives in a slow way and halted a lot to adverbs. So it will become, Grandpa walked carefully, slowly, and haltingly. The new security guard was lazy, unreliable, and often came late. So how are we going to make this sentence parallel? So it will become, the new security guard was lazy, unreliable, and often late. Next, I think the crops did well because they were fertilized rather than because of my talks to them. So to make it parallel, it will become, I think the crops did well because I fertilized and talked to them. We must either change the laws about drunk driving or it will be necessary to start enforcing them more strictly. Sometimes, the problem comes when we are writing complex sentences with longer phrases in the list. To make it parallel, it will become, we must either change the laws about drunk driving or start enforcing them more strictly. Here are some tips by allocation on how to proofread for parallelism. Remember to look for long sentences. So those are often the ones that have a lot of ideas that may not be written correctly. Mark those to reread and check. Look for lists in your sentences. Identify the words in the list. Are they the same type of verb, noun, or adjective? And lastly, read your paper out loud. If you stumble when reading a sentence, chances are that the sentence isn't clearly written and may have faulty parallelism. So keep in mind that parallelism creates a sense of rhythm and balance in writing by using the same grammatical structure to express equal ideas. So faulty parallelism occurs when elements of a sentence are not balanced, causing the sentence to sound clunky and awkward. So parallelism may be created by connecting two clauses or making a list using coordinating conjunctions, by comparing two items using than or as, or by connecting two parts of a sentence using correlative conjunctions. So that ends our lesson for today. If you have questions, message me at moy.ytimbreza@gmail.com. Have a great learning day!